Now let's get some insights ahead of the midterm polls. Attorney Michael Yusinko, Senior Research Fellow at the Ateneo Policy Center, is now joining us again via Zoom. Hi, Attorney. Thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Angela and Angelo, at good morning sa lahat ng nanonood at nakikinig sa atin ngayon.
Yes, Attorney, what's your assessment dun sa ating nangyayaring campaign so far? May mga notable observation ka ba ngayon?
Well, unang-una, yung masakit aminin na yung tradpole style of politics is still, the main fare sa ating campaign, no? Pati yung mga crass gimmicks, yung mga bastos na pananalita, na mga style, nandyan pa rin.
Yes.
So, I think yun yung pinaka-notable na, para sa akin at least, no? Kasi, given the internet and social media and all the technological tools available to candidates now, ang nananaig pa rin is yung tradpole style, no? Yung pinapakita yung videos ngayon, yung mga rallies na parang concerts, no? Yung mga nagsasayaw, right? And then yung mga political ads na walang laman, kung hindi pa papatawa lang, o kaya drama na alam mo namang fake na fake. So, I think yun yung pinaka-disappointing, I would say, na observation na we are in the 21st century and all the tools available and yet ganun pa rin yung style ng politika natin.
Parang attorney, umaatras tayo, no? I'd like also take a look, attorney, in general, yung Philippine system of how we elect politicians. Ngayon, you will see a lot of, lack of a better term, weird. For example, you have VP Sara endorsing the sister of the president. And then you also have former Vice President Leni Robredo endorsing opponents niya supposedly sa presidential election and kay Abalos, no? So, in the US, the worst that could happen was you endorse somebody from the far right to the far left within your party. So, kunyari, Democrat far right, Democrat center, Democrat left. You don't see somebody from the Democrats endorsing somebody sa Republicans. It's unheard of, no? So, what do you think is happening, mas lalo ngayon, with all these endorsements left and right? Should we then, in the future, take a look at yung system natin?
So, the operative word there sa sinabi mo, Angelo, is party, political party, no? Sa ating bansa kasi, wala tayong mga totoong political parties, no? What we have are political dynasties, no?
Yeah.
Kung political parties kasi, merong structure yan, merong institutions involved, merong mga conventions involved, na katulad ng sinabi mo, di ba, yung a Republican will not endorse a Democrat and vice versa because of convention, institutions, rules, and regulations within the party themselves.
At saka, attorney, dagdag natin, prinsipyo.
Yeah, exactly. Prinsipyo, programa, ideolohiya. Sa atin kasi ang nananaig, kumbaga yung political unit na nananaig sa bansa natin, yung political dynasties. Yaan, sila walang prinsipyo, walang structure, walang convention, walang tradition, walang rules, no? Ang nananaig lang sa kanila is yung sarili nilang interest, no? Yung what they need to do to win, and what they need to do to keep themselves in power. So yan yung paliwanag kung bakit meron sitwasyon na isang kandidato pareho siyang iniendorso ng administrasyon at oposisyon. No? So ganun yung explanation doon na kasi itong mga kandidato na tumatakbo, wala namang mga prinsipyo yan Wala namang hindi sila nakaangkla sa tradisyon, sa regulasyon, sa convention, sa prinsipyo, nakaangkla yan sa sariling interest nila. And therefore, yung mga ganong weird situations na sinasabi mo are possible. And in fact, they are happening. Hindi lang ngayon, pati dati pa.
Before I move on to Angel, I'd like to ask, so do you think this election, this midterm, is still a referendum of the president or Duterte, or is just merely an election of kung kaninong gimmick ang mas maganda?
Alam mo, Angelo, that's a good question. Pero ang hirap kasi sagutin na referendum eh. Although that's the conventional thinking, no, na referendum dun sa incumbent president. Kaya lang, I wouldn't say na referendum kasi wala namang pinag-uusapan sa
Policies
campaign
o
about policies of the administration, ano? Wala naman tayong naririnig na debate o diskurso tungkol dun sa mga ginagawa ng administrasyon. Yung opposition, yung Duterte, and even to a certain extent, yung mga Makabayan Bloc, etc., wala naman silang formidable critique to the administration's policies and decisions. Kumbaga, meron silang sarili-sariling gimmick nila, pero wala naman silang hinahain na kritisismo na malinaw to be able to say na yung election is a referendum of the administration.
Attorney, I believe in an election, hindi lang dapat ang kandidato ang naghahanda, but also the voters. No? Tayo mga botante, naghahanda rin tayo when it comes to the platforms, background, the ability to govern ng isang kandidato. Yung voters education, ika nga. No? But ang tanong dito, may nangyayari ba talagang voters education? Kasi meron akong nabasa minsan na article na para lang daw sa mga elitista yung nagpupush na mga voters education.
That's a valid criticism, Angela, no, na kasi ang voters education is conducted mainly by civil society organizations, and then ang sineservisan nilang mga kliyente o mga grupo din na hindi naman nakakaabot doon sa mga nangangailangan ng tulong, should we say, no? And also, yung voters education na ginagawa ninyo ng media, syempre, ang nakaka-access lang nun, yung may access sa internet, sa social media, sa TV, no? So, there's a certain credibility to that or validity to that criticism. Pero I think kasi, for me, what makes voter education not as effective as we want to is kasi ginagawa lang natin sila tuwing eleksyon eh.
Yeah.
So parang too late in the day, no? Kasi nagkakaroon ng maraming impormasyon masyado yung botante, hindi na niya napoproseso ng tama. So voters education, or more accurately, civics education is what we need, no? Na dapat in between elections, pinag-aaralan din natin ano ba yung una-una, ano yung mga trabaho dapat ng mga public officials. Kasi that has a bearing dun sa mga policies or dun sa trabaho na ginagawa nila o dun sa output na
Correct, yeah.
pinapalabas nila, no, bilang mga public officials. So, the bulk of the work, the hard yards, as they say, no, of civics education should happen in between elections, not during the election period, no? So I think yun yung bakit hindi ganun ka-effective yung voters education, because nangyayari lang siya pagdating ng campaign eh.
Yeah, you're right. Pero alam mo, attorney, I've also got me thinking also, no, but how much is it the fault of voters education to na isisihin natin in terms of quality ng politicians natin? You have to remember also, elections is likened to a commercial activity or commerce, diba? And if you look at each society's cultures, makikita mo yung behavior ng tao. Like the US, some people will not vote Democrats because they are anti-abortion. So given may issue-based na yan. Sa Pilipino, kung ano yung nasa harapan niya, kunyari sa palengke, yun ang bibilin niya. Kahit ano pang education gawin mo sa kanya na mas maganda ang patatas galing sa Taiwan o kaya sa yung native, kung ano nasa harapan niyang pwede niyang bilhin, yun ang bibilin niya. Ganun din ang election sa atin. Kung ano yung nasa harapan niyang pwede niyang i-consume, o ano yung interesting na makulay, o ano yung nagbigay ng ayuda, yan ang iboboto niya. Diba? So, what are we supposed to do? Aside from sabihin natin, we have to fix the party system, what are we supposed to do then if voters' education will really not work sa lower levels?
It's just going to be a cycle eh.
It's going to be a cycle.
That's a very fair point, no? Kaya nga sinasabi ko kanina, what we need actually is civics education, no, na
Continuous.
continuous, no?
Oo.
Hindi lang yung pabugso-bugso lang or tuwing may election lang. And civics education na ang nakatutok talaga is ano ba talaga ang nangyayari sa gobyerno? Ano yung dapat mangyari? And more importantly, ano ba yung responsibilidad ng mga mamamayan? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kasi sabi nga ni the late Senator Nene Pimentel, sabi niya, good governance is not the responsibility of the governors alone, but also of the governed. No? So, tayong mga mamamayan,
I agree.
it begins with us, sa totoo lang, no?
Yeah.
It begins with us because we make the choice, eh. We make the choice. Sino ba yung iboboto natin? Sino yung iluluklok natin? So, kailangan tayong mga mamamayan, nagkakaroon din tayo ng enhancement sa ating pag-iisip in terms of ano ba yung trabaho ng mga ano ba ang gobyerno, ano trabaho ng gobyerno, ano ba dapat yung gagawin ng gobyerno, and of course, ano ba responsibilidad natin.
Attorney, very quick question na lang. Fearless forecast mo sa midterm elections, meron ba mga gainers and mga losers ngayon na nakikita mo?
Ilan admin, ilan Duterte? Sa tingin mo, attorney?
Let me put it this way. I think it's going to be a status quo result. Ibig sabihin, same old lang yung maluluklok. And that is really a very bad defeat for us, no? For us na nangangarap ng magkaroon ng pagbabago sa bansa natin. So, I don't have specific numbers, pero sa tingin ko, based on surveys and also my observations sa kampanya, mukhang yung mga mananalo ay parehong uri lang. And therefore, wala rin tayong maaasahan na pagbabago sa next term o dito sa second half ng administration ni Pangulong Marcos.
Mag-antay na lang tayo ng presidential.
Alright, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras, Attorney Michael Yusinko of the Ateneo Policy Center. Thank you so much.
Maraming salamat din.